Tell me when.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back. Now our topic for this last subsection is unity. Uh, what is unity? Well, how to define the word union. One. When I think of union, I think of my old union days. I was what they call a union organizer. I worked at the newspaper guild of Philadelphia, and I went from one newspaper to another. About 20, 25 different newspapers in a three-state area. We had an election which we failed in Reading, Pennsylvania. There were union busters, firm that was brought in to fight the union, and we lost. We also tried to organize in Atlantic City. A union is people coming together with one purpose or a mutual agreed set of values. And that is what union and unity means to me. And the studies I've been following show me that in order for me to raise my consciousness, I must do it in a group. I must do it first of all by reading and trying to find out as much as possible about the goal of the group. And the stuff I want to read just can't be junk that's out there on the internet. It has to be something that has been tested through time. And this wisdom inside nature is something that's been around for over 2,000 years. There have been books written just about 2,000 years ago that are eye openers. They're eye openers for those who have the discipline to learn bits and pieces of the technical words in order to understand these books. I am just a novice and I have to depend a lot on my group. What is my group? My group is Karen, the K, Oleg, who's behind the camera here, and his lovely wife. What the hell's her name again? What is it? Rufia, that's right. How soon we forget, you know. But these are members of my group, and I turn to them many times as if they're members of my old troop, uh, my troop from the military. But I am not the leader. I am the lowly private. I am one who's just been enlisted, want to do my level best to help the cause.
Michael, like a lot of things you're talking about, they seem like good ideas, but why isn't it working well around the world?
It is working all around the world at a very low level. Uh, I'm a child of the 60s, but I grew up in the 50s. And I remember having to duck underneath our parochial school desk because we had air raids and we thought that Russia was going to be bombing us any minute now. We had these bomb shelters that people would put water and food stuff in because we felt the A bomb, the H bomb, whatever bomb was going to come sometime next week. That has changed. It has changed, and I'll tell you one thing. I think there are certain segments of the world that are leading us, and they may not be the fondest group that Americans have come to know throughout our history, and that is the Russian people. Now, why do I say this? There is one teacher, it's my teacher, a teacher that our group follows. He came from Russia. He was one of those, what we call the refuseniks. He tried to leave Russia, and the communist government said, "Whoa, oh, no, 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 we're going to put a lid on how many people we're going to let out of this country. We're not going to let anybody out. Oh, you will refuse to, we're going to keep you here." So he had to wait a couple more years before he could leave and come to the Holy Lands. And when he did, he studied with another teacher, and he took all the information he got from that teacher, from the teacher's books, from the teacher's father, from the teacher's teacher's teachers. And these are the authentic books that are written in a language that I have difficulty understanding, but my group knows more about it and I'm learning through them. This is what is helping the world change. Not the outside world, it's the individuals. And you know, if we can get 10 more people next week to follow this nature's call, this balance of nature, this quantum physics where we change our reality by changing our internal intention, we will start to see people being called back from their jobs. We will start
Michael,
to see new schools being opened. We will start to see the changes that we know are possible. We will get rid of poverty as we know it.
Michael, I'm a bit confused by what you're talking about, because on the one hand, you're talking about unity and it seems like everybody, and then on the other hand, you're saying that it's about individuals and you're being kind of cryptic. So I'm not quite
Well,
clear what you're talking
okay.
about.
There's something called the tipping scale. I'm not a mathematician. I was raised as a lawyer, but I do know a little bit about the tipping scale. You get to a point in a society where you don't need all 6 billion people to have a change in our social strata. You just need a certain number. I don't know if maybe it's a half of 1%, but it gets to a point when you have enough people following the goals of altruism, the goals of nature's wisdom, that others will look at us, at the group, at the ones who are trying to follow this avenue, this path, and they will see the wisdom in it. They might have been kicked upside the head before they are able to turn their heads and look, but they'll see that the best way to do this is voluntarily, by studying, by learning that we can't force people, we can't occupy countries, we can't do what we have been doing, but we must do it one person at a time from within. People, I believe, want to do what is good for all. Unfortunately, we are exposed to other ways in the world. We have to get back to the childlike naivety, if you want to call it that, the childlike certainty that there is a force that is loving. There is a force that cares. There is a father, a mother feeling that we can get when we know we're doing good.
So you
And that
think
is not a pipe dream.
so? Two questions. One is, how can 1% change the other 99? And do you really think that suddenly we're going to stop hating and killing each other?
No, of course not. I mean, it's going to continue. But an individual can stop or decrease the hate, decrease the anger. It must start from within, and it must start with you, with me, with whoever has that point in the heart. It's not going to happen with everyone. Unfortunately, there's only a few people who recognize that point in the heart and take that first step. They don't even know what that first step should be. And they start wandering. They start checking out different spiritual paths. They get into aromatherapy, Tibetan singing bowls, past life regression. They're looking for the answer. Maybe all of them are gearing towards what we have to finally come to, and that is the correction of our ego, to be able to receive pleasure, but put a lid on it and share the bounty that we get from the force around us. And now, look, there was these monkeys in one place. They had the bananas or this fruit, and the one monkey went and he cleaned it off and he ate it after dipping it in the water. Another monkey watched him. He did the same thing, cleaned it off and ate it, and then three, and then four. And all of a sudden, there were 50 monkeys out of 100, and all 100 started doing it. Oh, what's the big deal? In an island where monkeys could not see the other monkeys, those individual monkeys started to clean the fruit. I can't tell you what that is. I don't know the philosophical, the biological, the who know whatical that's out there. But it changes. Some people call it the butterfly effect. Something that is done in one area of the world affects the other area of the world. I like to think of it as the intent. We have hate, anger that we send out through our intent just by getting up in the morning and hating to go to work. How many people really like to go to work? I mean, there were moments when I loved my job, but there were moments when I didn't. And I know a lot of people who they always kept looking for a new job. I can't stand, you know how they are. They complain of this, complain about that. But how would you like to get up and intend to have love given to everyone you come in contact with for 1 hour? I'm not talking about the whole day. For 1 hour. Just give love. And, you know, you can start with yourself. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Look inside and say, hey, I can do it. And that's not that hard to love.
How do you think that you can change people's minds?
I can't change anyone's mind. They have to do it themselves. Now, if for some reason I become an example or they see something in me and they say, hey, I like the shit that he has, man. He's happy all the time. He's gregarious. He is silent. And he has love what he has. I love the way she just seems to embrace life and take it all in. And she doesn't have a care in the world. I want that. I want to be like that. Let me pick their brain. Let me find out what they're reading. What groups are they going to? And that is when you and I and everyone else starts to follow the point in the heart to the next step.
What's this point in the heart?
The point in the heart is when you realize that there is something above you and you start asking the questions. Why? What is the purpose of my? Is that all there is? Is that all there is to my life? There's got to be something more. What is it? When you get to that point in your heart, you have to find an answer, or you will go to your deathbed wishing that you took that first step. You may not take that first step. You may die in the next instant. It is a little pressure. You have to be concerned about your own mortality. We ain't all gonna live to 99. So wake up, you who are turning 22, and you over there turning 37, and you old like, what are you, gonna be 45 pretty soon? Karen, your next birthday, you're gonna be 22. Me, the old man, I'll be 39.
A viewer asked, do you have any jokes for us before the end?
Jokes. I don't know about a joke, but there was a story. I don't know if we have time for this. Let's see if we can get this in. In the belly of a pregnant woman, two babies are having a conversation. One of them is a believer and the other is an atheist. The atheist, do you believe in life after birth? The believer, of course I do. Everybody knows there's life after birth. We are here in order to grow strong enough and prepared for what awaits us after it. The atheist, nonsense. There can't be life after birth. Can you imagine how this life would be? I don't know all the details, but I believe there's more light. And maybe we will all walk and feed ourselves there. Rubbish. It's impossible to walk and feed ourselves? Ridiculous. We have the umbilical cord that feeds us. I just want to point this out to you. Life after birth can't exist because our life, the cord, is already too short. I'm sure it's possible. It will be just a little different. I can envision it. Yeah, but there is nobody who has ever returned from it, huh? Life simply ends with birth. And frankly, life is just one big suffering in the dark. No, no. I don't know how life after birth will be exactly, but in any case, we will meet our mother, and she will take care of us. Mother? You think we have a mother? So where is she then? She's everywhere. She's all around us. We see her, in her. We move because of her. And thanks to her, we move and live. Without her, we wouldn't exist. Baloney! Come on! I haven't seen any such mother. Hence, there is none. I can't agree with you. In fact, sometimes when everything comes down, we can hear her sing and feel how she caresses our world. I strongly believe that our real life will begin only after birth. And what about you? Do you believe there's life after birth?